All right, hey folks, welcome back. So this week we are going to look at styles in InDesign. Now you've probably seen styles in other applications like Microsoft Word, or if you've done any web design, that kind of stuff. And it's basically just a way to format text, large bodies of text, and make edits to it without having to go in and individually change the formatting for each paragraph or headline or whatever. So hopefully that'll make sense once we get moving in. So I'm going to go ahead and create a document, our kind of traditional one-page, 8.5 by 11 document, 0.5 margins. All this stuff is fine. Click OK. All right. So we get our document here. First thing I want to do is draw a text frame. Okay. So I'm going to get my type tool and I'm going to draw a text frame just within our margins from upper left to bottom right corner. And once I get my active cursor, I want to place text. So I'm going to go to File, Place, or anybody know the shortcut now? Are we getting there? Command D or Control D on a PC. Okay, I'm going to go to the Styles assignment folder that I gave you. I'm going to go find that Text Styles Word document and click Open. And it's going to bring in our copy. All right, so what I want to do is format this text, but this is an example of how styles can be used. But really, where styles really show their strength is when you're dealing with really long bodies of text, like if you're laying out a magazine or a book or something that has a lot of repeating elements. You know, we looked at master pages for repeating elements on a page, like footers and headers and that kind of stuff. What styles really do is repeating elements of text, like if you have paragraph text and headline text and subheads and all that kind of stuff that repeat, that you don't want to have to go through in style. And especially if you decide you need to make changes to them along the way, styles allow you to make changes at one place and it's applied to the entire document. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit better. And I'm going to just style this first paragraph here. All right, so first thing I want to do is select it. Okay, and I'm going to change this to Minion Pro Regular, wherever it is. There we go. And I'm going to change the size to 14 points. I'm going to take the leading up to 18 points. All right. And then I'm going to go to paragraph, my paragraph panel. Okay, and I'm going to add a 1/4 inch of space before. All right, space before paragraphs. And then I'm going to indent this whole paragraph 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so you can type in 0.75 or you can just click up till you get to 0.75. All right, and that's what I want it to do. That's what I want it to look like. It doesn't look very good right now, but you'll see how it's going to work. I also want to justify the text with last align left. So that looks pretty good. And then I want to change the color to 80% black. Okay, so come down here to my swatches. Now if you have your text selected, you're going to see that the T is already highlighted, meaning we're going to be dealing with our text. If not, make sure you have that selected. And where it's already on black, we're just going to type in 80% here and hit enter. Okay, so we get our gray text, and that's what I want it to look like. All right, I'm not going to worry about hyphenations or anything right now. Okay, so this is what I want my body text to look like. So now what I'm going to do is open up my styles panels. So if you go to Window and down to Styles, you'll see we have a bunch of different kinds of styles. There are cell styles and table styles, which works when you're formatting tables. And then we have paragraph styles, object styles, and character styles. Those are the three we're going to look at today. Table styles work very similar, just they are applied to tables instead of text. So I'm going to open up my paragraph styles panel. Okay, now mine is nested with character styles because I use those a lot in conjunction with each other. If yours are not, you can just go back to Window, to Styles, and open up your character styles as well. Okay, and if it comes up in a separate window, that's okay. If you want to nest them so they look just like mine, just click on this top gray bar and drag it right there next to paragraph styles where it highlights blue like that, and let go, and then they're nested together. Okay, so right now what I want to do is with my paragraph styles panel open, you see we don't have any there yet other than just normal and basic paragraph, which those are the default ones that are there. What I've done is I've styled this paragraph the way that I want it to look. Okay, so I'm going to put my cursor in here. I don't have to highlight the whole thing. I can highlight the whole paragraph if I want to, or I can just highlight a word, or I can just put my cursor somewhere in this paragraph. Okay, and because I've already styled this the way I want to, I can create a paragraph style from this styled text. Okay, so with the paragraph style menu, I'm going to go to the little flyout thing up here, or down here where it says new style. Either one works. Okay, I'm going to go to new paragraph style, and you're going to get this big dialog here. Okay, so I'm going to name this body. Okay, and then if you look over here on the left of this new paragraph style, these are all the different things that we can format for this text. All right, and because I have something selected that I've already formatted, it's going to grab those settings. All right, see, it says Minion Pro 14 on 18. If I go to indents and spacing, it's captured all of the things that we've just done to that text. If I go down here to color, 80%. Now you can also see we can adjust things like hyphenation, whether it's justified, if things span columns, all the different things that we would normally do when we're formatting. Okay. Now I generally want my preview box checked so I can see what things look like if I change things. And I also want, if I go back to general, I want this apply style to selection checked as well. Because what I'm going to be doing is applying the style that I create to other text. So I want it to be applied to the text that I've already formatted to, if that makes sense. So basically all I have to do, if I've formatted it out here, is I just name it body and click OK. Okay. So now you'll see whenever I have this paragraph selected, or anywhere in it, you'll see that body is highlighted in the paragraph styles menu. Okay, the panel. So it might not look like we've done much, but you'll see how this becomes beneficial as we move on. So now what I want to do is apply this style to the rest of these paragraphs. Okay, so I could select one paragraph and then click on body, and it automatically applies all of those things that we've done. I could also, because I'm going to be doing some other things to these other areas, I could select everything. I could zoom out, select all, and hit body, and it's going to apply that to all of my text. All right. So what this is really useful for is now if I decide that I want to change the font or the color or the size, any of those things, I can go back up here into my paragraph styles menu and go to style options and make changes, and it's going to affect this text here. See, for example, we now have overset text, all right, because whenever we applied that style, it had some extra space. So now our text is running longer than the text frame. So what I'm going to do is, I don't even have to have anything selected over here. I have select the body style in my paragraph styles. I go up here to style options, and I'm going to reduce the size. So I'm going to go to basic character formats, and if I have preview checked, I can see it in real time. And I'm going to make it 13 by 17 instead of 14 by 18. So I'll just take that down one, and now all of our text is in there. Looks good. Click OK. So rather than having to highlight each one of these paragraphs and do it, I can just do it from the style, if that makes sense. Okay, so next what I want to do is create another paragraph style for my headlines, for these words, the three programs, InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator. So I'm going to highlight this, and this time, let's see, I'm going to go to my character panel, and we're going to make this Myriad Pro Bold. Hopefully you have that. If you don't, you can make it Myriad Pro Semi-Bold or whatever you have. Myriad Pro Bold. Okay, I'm going to take the size up to, let's see, do 24 points. Okay, and then we'll do 28 leading. All right, so 24 over 28 leading. And then this right now is 80% black. I want it to be 100% black. So I'm going to come down here to the character panel and just take this back up to 100. All right, so that's what our headline should look like. So now with this selected, I'm going to go to my paragraph styles. I'm going to create another new paragraph style. You'll see there's a plus sign next to this right now because it was styled as body, but now we've made changes to it. Okay, now we could override those changes down here and it would go back to the way it was, but in this case we want to create a new style. So I'm going to go to new paragraph style once again. I'm going to type in headline. Okay, and you'll see again that it's captured all of our changes. Okay, and I'm going to go to make sure this is checked. Click OK. Now you'll see this is styled as a headline. And now I can do the same thing. I can select Photoshop, click on headline, and Illustrator, click on headline, and we've got our formatting. And once again, if I decided I wanted to change the size or the color or anything like that, rather than applying it to the text several times, I can just go over here and change the paragraph style once, and it'll apply it to all those instances throughout our document. So you can start to see, hopefully, how useful that could be if you have a 100-page document with, a bunch of different instances of this style, of these headlines, and you can change it in one click instead of going through the entire document and selecting each one by itself. So that's where styles really shine, okay? So what I want to do now is create a character style. The difference between paragraph styles and character styles, both deal with formatting text. Paragraph styles also include things like leading and space between paragraphs and indentation and all those kinds of things. Character styles only deal with text formatting, like font, color, size, whether it's bold or not, all those kinds of things. All right. So paragraph styles will apply to an entire paragraph. Character styles you can apply to a single word or a group of words. So this character styles are more commonly used for if you want things within a paragraph to be bold or italic or a different font or postscript or subscript, something like that. That's when you would use character styles. So this time, let's try creating one without formatting text first. You can do this either way. I tend to style my text first so I can see how it looks before I create the style. But you can also, if you know exactly what you want, just create one without anything being selected here. So let's try that. So I'm going to go with the Character Styles panel active. I'm going to go to New Character Style. And this time we'll name it Body Bold. All right? Body Bold. And go to Basic Character Formats. And it doesn't have anything selected because we don't have any text selected over here. So I'm going to choose Myriad Pro Bold. Myriad Pro Bold or semi-bold, whatever you have. And I'm going to say 12 points on 17 leading. Okay. Myriad Pro Bold, 12 on 17. Let's go down to character color. And we're going to choose black, 100%. All right. And if we wanted things to be underlined or strike through or anything like that, we could do that. Those are all the things I need to change, I think. So Myriad Pro Bold, 12 points on 17-point leading, and then 100% black for our color. Okay, and it's named Body Bold. So we click OK, and you'll see that our character style has been created. So now what I'm going to do, just to apply that, is select Adobe InDesign, these words right here, and click on Body Bold, and you'll see that that we can apply it that way. All right. Adobe Photoshop, Body Bold, Adobe Illustrator, Body Bold. All right, so our text is formatted. All right, looks pretty good. Now you don't have to do this. I just want to show you why this is really useful. Let's say that I want to change the color of this. Okay, with this selected, I can come in here, go to Style Options, down to Character Color, and choose cyan. If I check preview, you'll see that all those things change automatically. All right, I could change the size. I could do all sorts of things, and it just makes it a lot easier because it applies it to all of those instances. But I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you that, so I'm going to cancel out of that. All right. So we've used our paragraph styles and our character styles. Object styles work the same way, only they are applied to objects. Okay, instead of text. Like if you have strokes or corner options or drop shadows or bevels or anything like that applied to an object, you can create a style just like that, just like you can for text formatting. You can do that for objects. So what I want to do is get my rectangle frame tool, come over here, and I'm just going to click so I can type in specific values. Instead of clicking and dragging to draw it, if you just click, this little guy pops up, and I just want to put a 1/2 inch square in there. So I'm going to type 0.5 inches here, 0.5 inches here, and then click OK. It gives me my square. Get my selection tool, and I want to move this so it sticks right up against that margin line and is about level with the top of my paragraph, about like that. Okay. Then I'm going to copy and paste this twice more down here. All right. So you can go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, or you can go Command C, Command V, or Control C, Control V, and it's going to pop it up right there. And I'll just put it right there, and then Command C, Command V once again. Move that guy down here. All right. So now I have these the way I want them. What I'm going to do is bring in my logos here. Okay, so with this first one, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go to File, Place, or go to Command D, and find that InDesign logo in the folder that I gave you, and click Open. It's going to be pretty big, so I'll right-click or Control-click, go down to Fitting. You ought to be getting familiar with this now. Go to Fit Content Proportionally. All right. Same thing down here. Command D to place, or File, Place. Find our Photoshop logo, open it, right-click or Control-click, go to Fitting, Fit Content Proportionally, and then once again, this time we'll get our Illustrator logo, right-click or Control-click down to Fitting, Fit Content Proportionally. All right, so now we have our logos in there. I'm going to show you how to apply a drop shadow. I don't think we've done that yet this semester. But it's under Object Effects. So I'm going to select our first logo square here, the InDesign. I'm going to go to Object. Okay, and under Object, you're going to see something called Effects. You can also see corner options here. This is another way to change the corners if you want them to be rounded. But I'm going to go to Effects, and if you've used Photoshop or Illustrator, you've probably seen these before, where we have transparency, we have drop shadow, inner shadow, outer glow, bevel and emboss, all of these interesting things that we can play with. I'm going to add a drop shadow, so I'm going to click on drop shadow, and it's going to bring up my dialog. And if you have preview checked, you're going to see how it looks automatically. And you have all of these different options. So here are all the things we can add, the other effects. But for drop shadow, these are our options. The mode is usually set to multiply, that's fine. You can choose the color. You can choose the opacity, which is how heavy it is. And then the distance, the angle of the shadow, the X offset and Y offset, meaning how far down, how far over it is. A lot of different options here, okay? I'm going to take the opacity down to 50% just to make it a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to take the distance, we'll leave it at 0.125, okay, for now. That's okay, once I get it the way I like it. So I have that drop shadow, okay? Now, I'm going to create an object style based on that. Now, I could also do other things. I could add strokes, and it would capture that information, or other things. Just for the purpose of example, we'll just do the drop shadow. All right. So with this selected now, I need to open up my Object Styles menu, because we have our paragraph and characters, but not our object styles. So I'm going to go to Window, down to Styles, open up Object Styles. Okay, and you can nest it with the others, or you can just put it next to it, whatever you want to do. And with this selected, since we've already formatted it, I'm going to just click right here, go to New Object Style, and we'll name this Logo Shadow. Okay, and we could go through and check all these things, but I know that it's the way I want it, so I'm just going to click OK. All right, and make sure that Apply Style to Selection is checked. Click OK. All right, so now that our logo shadow is checked here, I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to shift-click to select both, the Illustrator and the Photoshop logo. Click on Logo Shadow, and there we go. All right, so this is kind of what it should look like. Now, looking at this now, and you know, this gives a lot of flexibility to your workflow, because now that I look at these, I feel like this shadow is too far away. It makes the logo seem like it's too far off the page. So rather than select each one and go back into Object, Effects, and choose the drop shadow and do it that way each time, what I can do is just change the style and it will apply it to all of these instances at the same time. So with nothing selected, all right, click off on the side. I'm going to come over here to my Object Styles, select Logo Shadow, go to my menu here, go to Style Options, and then go down here, see where it says Drop Shadow right here on the left? Click on that. You're going to see the same dialog box. And now let's just take the distance down a little bit to 0.0625. If you have preview checked, you'll see that it changed automatically from 0.125 to 0.0625. Click OK, and we're done. All right. So by using styles, you obviously it's a little more work up front to create your styles and format things the way you want. However, once you get this set up, it's almost like a template. So now I can change the font size for this. I can change the colors, the space between paragraphs, the effects on my objects, all these different things. I can change them much quicker and easier than if I didn't have styles set up. So a lot of people kind of avoid using these because they don't understand them, but once you learn how to use them, they make your life a whole lot easier.